This is the Blender TV Studio add-on auto save panel. We consider it the best auto save system because we haven't lost a file using this since we built it. This is where you change the directory where your auto saves will go. I'm going to set it as desktop so I could show you something. Default, the save changes only setting is on. This makes it so you use a lot less processor when it comes to auto saving. Default, it saves every 60 seconds. I'll turn this down to 10 seconds so I can show you how this works. Reminder, never set it below 60 seconds unless you're testing it. The autosave directory is on desktop, which means it created a BTV Auto Saves folder on my desktop to hold all my autosaves. Wherever you open a file from, your autosaves will always go in this directory until you change this file path to something else. It's set to save every 10 seconds. But there's no files in here because we haven't made any changes. So with the cube selected, and this icon here tells you whether you're saved or not. Right now, the file's saved because we saved it at startup. If I move the cube, the file becomes dirty is what they call it, and this turns green, meaning an autosave is imminent. And it just saved it to this directory. And now it won't save it again until I move the cube again. If I move the cube, the file becomes dirty, this turns green, and another file will get saved here as soon as it turns blue again, meaning the file was just saved. Default, the increment feature is turned on. That means every time it saves a file, it saves a new file up to 4 versions, the number under keep versions. That's because delete old versions is on. It will keep on incrementing these files until it reaches 4 versions, then it will delete the oldest version. That way, if you ever run into issue with a certain file, you always have about 3 different versions you could go back to. So I'll move the cube now to instigate another file save, and I'll do that 3 more times so you can see that it will only keep 4 versions of your file. That way you know it's not going to eat up your hard drive space if you have this delete old versions property on. And keep in mind, this delete old versions property is on default, and it's recommended to always use the default settings on this panel for best results. So keep an eye on this icon. This icon is blue when your file's been saved. When I move the cube, the file becomes what they call dirty. Oh, you only saw it for a second. I saw it for a second. It turned green there and it saved a file. So I'll move the cube back, and if you look up here, it became green again, and then it just turned, or it saved a file and it turned blue. Okay, so we have 4 versions. I'll move the cube one more time. It's green again, and then it turned blue and it saved another file. So we're left with 5 versions, and in just a few seconds, it'll clean up and delete the extra file. Oh, there it goes. So now we're left with 4 files. You could turn this off if you have a ton of hard drive space, so you always have a ton of backups. The default is 60 seconds for your save iteration. Every 60 seconds, it saves your file default, it saves your preferences, and it saves any open scripts like here that you have in the text editor. You also have the option to save a startup file every 60 seconds or auto-saved any modified textures that you get when you're texture painting in texture paint mode. Also, over time, you may get a lot of backups that you don't really need. So we made a delete backup files function. You could run it here, but we always like to run it up here from the file menu, delete backup file. For delete backup files, you have 3 options: include blend 1, include increment backup, and include Scratch. The include Blend 1 and include Scratch are focused in your auto save directory. If you choose include Scratch, scratch.blend files will be included. And then if you choose include Blend 1, any files that end in Blend 1 will be included. Also, whenever you run this, you always have the option to scan for Blend 1 files in all BTV Auto Saves folders. That means if you use multiple folders sometimes, like me, I have a folder on my desktop, BTV Auto Saves, and a folder on my W partition, BTV Auto Saves. So this option here will scan all of those folders for Blend 1 files. Before we end the tutorial, I just want to mention one thing that I didn't talk about during the tutorial because we were editing it while the tutorial was being made. But basically, there is one difference essentially in what we talked about, and I'll take this time to also talk about the startup property on the panel. That causes that your file gets automatically saved at startup, so you never have to see unsaved over here. And it's not really too necessary because anyways, 60 seconds after startup, the file will get saved, but this icon will be red, and that kind of looks unsightly. And this way you're covered for the 60 seconds until the normal autosave takes over. And that's the part. That part's not really any different, but what is different is the fact that we started putting strings of numbers called UUIDs at the end of a file name if it's a Scratch file. That way, if you open up multiple Blender instances, then whatever you're doing in the original Blender instance won't get overwritten by the second instance. So this is the most epic autosave system. We never lose a file with this system, and we test it every day while we work on scenes, so you could really trust this. This has been the BTV Autosave tutorial. Thank you very much for watching.